Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Idex, seeing what's going on. I actually got a lot of requests for this one here recently. I could totally see why. I think it's limited on exchanges, but for the most part, I think Binance and Kraken are the two. So either way, this might be a limited demographic, but figure we'd cover it. What the heck? All right, so if you're new to the channel, I love teaching people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. Hopefully, you can walk away with some knowledge and some insight. That's the whole point, right? So if you want to become a better trader though, just know, I have a trading academy community and signals group. Check that out if you can. We've got some amazing sponsors and partners as well. Be sure to reference that if you want some discounts and some trading bonuses on any type of exchange you'd like. I've got a lot of affiliations there. Furthermore, too, help us grow our Twitter community. Greatly appreciate anyone who's coming over here to help us out. Like, retweet, follow, the whole 9 yards there. We got a tremendous amount of fundamental technical data and just keeping you in the know. Consistent, frequent updates throughout the day, every 30 to 60 minutes, and just making sure that you stay abreast. And also, congrats to our community members who took some healthy profits on all three of our shorts. Yesterday, we hit all of our targets, our first targets 1 and 2. Some are still open, searching for the next. All right, that being said, with Idex, what we're going to look at here is a couple of things. First and foremost, when I take an analysis or analyze for the first time, right, what I try to look at is a few things. First of all, moving averages, as well as the moving average convergence divergence. It seems fairly rudimentary, but it is absolutely important to reference at any given time because we can see the convergence here is strong. There's no reason for the price to decrease in value soon, but you want to keep in mind we're fairly overextended too, even though we got a decent reset here at this point. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but the thing I want to just reference here quickly is that we have a large amount of money flowing into this coin. That's the money flow index, the green, and the white is essentially the RSI, so that's relative strength. So in the last 14 days, we've seen a lot of strength in this coin, but a lot of volume to back that up. Okay, so if there's volume, that implies the price will likely continue. So as long as the volume doesn't start to dissipate significantly, we should be in good shape to be able to see this price go up. Keep that in mind, pay attention. If we can stay above this moving average here, we're in good shape to be able to maintain a healthy price, okay? If not, just say, for example, the price were to pull back, it'll likely pull back to the 0.5 or 0.618 Fibonacci retracement levels. That's this zone right here, okay? Coincidentally, we can see the price spent a lot of time in that range too. In fact, let's go ahead and take a quick look at its volume profile based on just the most recent amount of data. What do you know? Right there at that level, 0.5, okay? That's why 0.5 is the most consistent retracement level in Fibonacci at, well, 0.618 equally as much, but 0.5 is a halfway point. It commonly retraces to that halfway point when you see a pullback or a strong amount of increase in a short amount of time. And this would say, you could be safe to say that this is a large increase in a short amount of time compared to what it's done in the past, okay? So all in all, pretty good there. Let's take a look at the moving averages and see we're up over all three. That's very healthy. Obviously, we're going to be once there's a breakout, when there's a lot of volume in one specific area. Okay, so that's kind of obvious. We don't, not surprised by that. Okay, but you can see it's just working itself up these little levels here. It gets up here, rejects out, comes on down, rejects out the next level, comes down to create a higher low, by the way. Mind you, that's higher low. Establish another higher low. As long as this next low right here is at 11.5 or higher, we should be in good shape to see this continue further, okay? So again, consolidation is important, but when it comes to the RSI and the money flow index, still high, even though it's tapering off a little bit. That's very standard when there's a selling point. You can also see the convergence is converging. So there's literally nothing here telling us that it wants to turn itself around. And we've got the 50-day SMA working its way upwards, and that's also a trend setter. So keep in mind, the 50-day SMA is very, very common in ascending trends to be able to see the price work concurrent with it. So staying above that level will be important, right? So the price comes down here, to say, for example, no big deal. Comes back up, that's what it's supposed to do. If it comes up, all good. And as soon as it comes over here and starts breaking below that 50-day SMA, then we got to have a different conversation, look towards potential further retracement and redraw out our fibs, okay? But between now and then, we're just fine, all good and dandy here. I like what I see here on the 4 hour, pretty much all bullish. Now the hourly is what's going to transition into the 4 hour, so we want to look at that too and kind of see what that looks like. So on the hourly, we can kind of see here that we are still establishing higher lows, looks fairly consistent. See if there's any overextension, which we did just have here recently. We hit a 9, went into a little bit of extra overtime, came down to consolidate, and the price is coming up here. So mostly darn good stuff here. There's literally nothing I can see here as potential downside. This is a healthy continuation to the upside, but also a healthy retracement to bounce off the most recent high, establishing it as the most recent low. Okay, so previous resistance turns support. It's the tried and true aspect of trading. Pay attention to that. That's a good point in which you want to buy. Keep in mind, right now, a lot of funky stuff going on in the market with Bitcoin, FOMC meeting, interest rate decision here in an hour or so. I think it's important to recognize that we could see some volatility, some unnecessary volatility that could skew this a little bit. Okay, so just please be aware of that. Try not to trade into something like this with a tremendous amount of leverage. It's not wise. We closed most of our positions except for our Bitcoin long. That gives you any indication on what's going to happen right now moving forward. We have 3 shorts that are, well, our trailing stop losses haven't triggered on a couple of them. They're just kind of in that little overtime. So we've already taken most of the profit. Those are riding out, but we've pretty much closed all of our short positions and just in general, staying on the sidelines for the most part at this point. Again, you want to become a better trader or just be part of that, cryptocash.tech is the site, link above here or below, and go ahead and check that out in your own time. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at the rest of the chart here and call it a day. TD sequential, we already acknowledged that. We want to take a look at the cloud. We're above all 3 positive confirming factors. In fact, the cloud is consolidating right here at support like it's supposed to. So there's probably no reason for the price to come back down. Keep this in mind though, if it were to retrace, as long as we stay above this Fibonacci retracement level, the 0.382 or higher, we're going to be in just good shape. Okay. The reason why I believe that is because that would still continue higher lows and essentially give us potential for higher highs after. Okay. Again, trend reversals in an ascending trend, the first thing you're going to pay attention to is lower highs. We want this next higher high to be moving forward. As long as we're establishing higher lows at the same time, it'll work itself into a wedge and effectively give us that breakout pattern. So all good if it does this, all good even still if it goes right down to here. Okay, this is fine right there to 10.2 or higher. I think we're in good shape still. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cover this again soon, but that's pretty much the bottom line. I think that at this point, it looks like it wants to continue until it doesn't. Just be ready for a potential retracement down to the 0.5 level. Hopefully 382 will hold over the next couple of days and we see that bounce off support. All right, we'll go ahead and see what happens. Thanks again for joining me here. One last favor, once again, if you could please help us grow our Twitter community. Link down below for this here. Obviously, make sure that you enable notifications so we can keep you abreast on all the important fundamental stuff and technical data. Thanks again for your help. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.